Oh, thanks, mailman. Let's look at the mail. That totally comes in Blockland and is not actually a YouTube comment at all. Oh, Shire Cook writes, I'm currently working on a new server with a few others and was planning to make a trailer for it, horror mystery themed. I usually like making short films IRL and edits, but how the hell can you make anything half serious in Blockland? What are some tips and tricks you have for that sort of thing? Well, Shire Cook, you've sent the right fake letter to the right fake YouTuber. You want to write a story that is relatable because you want to write characters that are relatable. And there are 3 questions I think you should ask. 1, how would you react? Put yourself into the character's reaction. It's going to feel more genuine. Number 2, how might a friend react? You know, you can't give your own reactions to every situation because then every character is going to start to feel the same. 3, what are the stakes? You know, any good story is going to have conflict, and you can technically make anything into conflict, but you want to make sure your conflict feels serious, and you want to make sure that the tension feels serious. Tone is the mood or the purpose of the media that you're creating, so think about it as like the feel or the vibe. You want to make your tone very careful when you're creating your story because it influences the entire thing. Introduce your tone immediately. The very first thing the audience sees is going to set the tone of your piece. If you want it to be scary, make it something scary. If it's dramatic, make it dramatic. You should also conclude with the tone. Your ending should reinforce the tone, almost like you're back in school, you know, and you're writing your paper and you got your introduction paragraph and you got your conclusion paragraph, and a lot of the times you just kind of copy and paste the introduction paragraph, reword it in the past tense and make that your conclusion paragraph. Well, don't do it literally like that, but basically, yeah, do that. Because the first thing that your audience sees and the last thing that your audience sees are going to be the things that they remember the most about your videos. So it is very, very important that you get those 2 things right. You are going to have a memorable video that people will take seriously. There's this psychiatrist. Her name is Astrid M. Rosenthal von der Putten. She's a social psychologist at the University of Duisburg-Essen in Germany. I'm really sorry for all of my German Blocklanders out there. I can't. You're gonna have to deal with what I just did there. I'm so sorry. Group 1 watched a 2-minute video of a person in a black sweater choking and beating a robot dinosaur, Pleo, who looks like this. It admitted sounds of suffering, crying. Group 1 felt significant pity for the robot and anger at the torturer when the robot was tormented. The reason I bring this up is because humans have the strangest ability to relate to pretty much anything if you give it the right stimuli. And our brains love to see faces on everything. It's the reason that when you look at a Blockland character and it just has this little, smiley face on it, and you go, hey, that's a dude, that's a little dude, but it's just a 3D cube. Right now I'm working on the new Block Wars, and what I've done is I've created extra expressions for all of my characters, so I have these custom faces, like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, where I've designed their faces as the default smiley, and then I go in and I actually edit. I just kind of made these catch-all comedy faces, but you can tweak this basically to be anything you need, and if you're not good at image editing, that's okay, because I'm pretty sure there are faces out there. You want to get the most expressive faces that will show the feeling that the character is currently feeling in your scene. Now, with Blockland, obviously, given that the faces are just static textures, it is kind of a little jarring to see the face change suddenly. Now, this can work in comedy, when you're making something funny, but you don't always want that, just, and there's a new face. It just feels weird. So what I've done in Block Wars is I like to hide the face changes in cuts. If it's a dialogue between 2 characters, I like to do a shot and reverse shot, and I change expressions between the shots. If it's an action shot, sometimes it's nice to just cut to reaction. Like if it's somebody smiling and then they look over to their left, look at what they're looking at, come back, and oh boom, I've actually changed the face in between that cut. Don't think that just because Blockland has a limited visual style that it can't be taken seriously. There are For example, the scene that I did with Darkstar at the end of Away at War 2, where Rex is like dead and giving a speech, and everybody's attending his funeral, and everyone, it's raining, everyone has their black umbrellas, it's very sad, and it's very, morose. Let me just flip through my thesaurus here, hang on. Oh, it's very melancholy. People comment on that, it hits me right in the nostalgia every time I watch the ending when Rex dies, and it's super sad, because in hindsight, most of why people feel sad about it is because they were given the right stimulus. So my advice to anyone trying to do anything seriously would be to take it serious. Do something that you feel is sincere. Thank you so much, Shirecook, for sending me this YouTube comment in the mail through a mailman that comes to the mansion here in Blockland. Believe it or not, I get letters delivered to my house every day. But if you'd like to have your question put in this ridiculously convoluted method of getting me letters, please send me an ask, a like, a comment, and subscribe. See you on the next episode of Behind the Bricks, and keep making films. Okay, bye.